Well, our top story this hour, the AmaZulu nation has suffered yet another loss. Its Regent Queen Mantfombi Dlamini passed away in Johannesburg's Milpark hospital. The Queen's death comes just weeks after AmaZulu King Goodwill Zwelithini was planted. AmaZulu traditional Prime Minister Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi has assured the nation there will be no leadership vacuum. Well, eNCA Siphamandla Goge is following developments. Let's chat to him now. He's at Milpark Hospital for us this morning. Spa, a very good morning to you. What do we know about the Queen's passing? We understand she'd been ill for a few days. What information is available to us at this stage?
Nothing much in terms of her illness, but we do know that she's been unwell for a while now. In fact, our royal sources are telling us that as far back as 2016, she's been unwell. And even when her late husband, the departed king, passed away, she was still unwell. She had gone to Swaziland to be with her family from that side in Swaziland to receive some attention there. But she had to come back when the king was laid to rest during that interment of the king's remains. So she's been unwell for a while now. We understand that in the past she may have undergone some operations. She was due to undergo another operation, and then she was airlifted from KwaNongoma, where all the king's palaces are situated geographically. That's in northern KZN. So her palace is Kwakhangela Mankengane Royal Palace in KwaNongoma. She was airlifted from Kwakhangela Mankengane Royal Palace to one of the hospitals in Durban, and from there she was airlifted to Johannesburg. This is where she passed on yesterday. Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who is the traditional Prime Minister of AmaZulu nation, confirming the news that the Regent Queen is no more. Our viewers would recall that she is the one that the late king left with the throne. When the king's will was read, it emerged that the king had decided to leave the throne and the kingdom to her, and she was going to be central in deciding and nominating a successor. Hence the speculation was rife that she was going to nominate her firstborn son, Prince Misuzulu. Now, Queen Mantfombi is very important and strategic when you locate her in terms of the Zulu kingdom. She's of royal blood in Swaziland. You know, her father was the late King Sobhuza of Eswatini. She was the sister to the current monarch and the head of state of Eswatini, King Mswati III. So the two kingdoms, you know, she brought together the two kingdoms, and hence we expect that a delegation from Swaziland will be making its way to KwaNongoma, Kwakhangela Mankengane Royal Palace. But this now has muddied the waters in terms of succession. There have been media reports that there were tensions in the Zulu royal family about the issue of succession. Some of the king's siblings had been accused of running parallel meetings in deciding the issue of succession. They have been accused of snapping her and not basically supporting her during her reign when she was in charge of the throne, while she was busy assembling a team that was going to help her run the kingdom during that mourning period. Our viewers will also recall that traditional Prime Minister of the Zulu nation, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, announced that the Zulu royal family members were going to mourn the passing of the king, and she was also going to mourn the passing of the king. Now that she's no more, the issue of succession and tensions is going to be brought into the fore.
Well, on that note, Span, I understand it might still be early hours, you know, so just since we've heard the news, but just everything that you've mentioned about her role since the passing of the king and what responsibilities fell on her. You know, is there talk? I'm pretty sure that there must be speculation about any kind of foul play related to her death at this stage.
Well, it's difficult to say, but also let's be realistic. You are talking about someone here who was left with one of the biggest kingdoms, not only in South Africa, but in Africa and anywhere in the world. The Zulu kingdom is big, it's massive, it's powerful. She was very influential. I remember when the king was laid to rest, you know, after the king's interment, the remains of the kings were interred. I remember seeing her convoy leaving KwaNongoma. She had already been undertaking her duties and responsibilities because Zulu royal family members were saying they can never be vacuumed. So she was already performing her duties. She was already putting systems in place, preparing to hand over power to her son. We understand that it's going to be Prince Misuzulu. Whether that will remain the case, it remains to be seen for now. So you cannot say there was no foul play, but you cannot say there was no foul play, but you can't either confirm that because she's been unwell for a while now. Members of the Zulu royal family have confirmed that since 2016 she has been suffering.
All right, so what happens now? I mean, she was holding the fort until the installation, the official installation of the next king. Do we know what happens now?
Well, there has to be a series of emergency meetings now, because at some point there has to be a decision and someone will have to act now. Remember, this is not the double blow to the Zulu kingdom and AmaZulu as a nation. It's a triple blow. You have to rewind to 2020 November, if I'm not mistaken. The late King Goodwill Zwelithini Zulu lost his firstborn son, that is Prince Lethukuthula, in Johannesburg. And then he passed away later on. Now that the Regent Queen is no more, someone will have to act in the throne. The Zulu royal family will have to decide. But I think we need to take our cue from the statement by Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, because the Zulu royal family members are alive and aware to the fact that there cannot be a vacuum. And the statement by Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi assuring the nation that there will not be any leadership vacuum. I know for a fact that today there is a meeting that is planned, and then tomorrow Zulu royal family members will be meeting to decide. We understand that they will be finalizing the logistics and the arrangements for the funeral service as well. After that, an announcement will have to be made in terms of who is going to act for now, while the family is still finalizing that only issue of succession. Now the departure of the Regent Queen has muddied the waters. It has opened up the issue of succession debate and battle again.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks very much, Siphamandla Goge, there on the passing of the Regent Queen, that's Mantfombi Dlamini Zulu. We'll also ask Premier Sihle Zikalala, when we speak to him in just a few minutes, what he knows about her passing and if he's been in touch with the family. We're chatting to him about the province's vaccine rollout for phase 2 in just a short while.